You have a lot of wants, right? And that's okay. We all do. We want success. We want abundance. We want freedom, fulfillment, impact, love. But if you trace everything we want back to the why, right? To the whole point, isn't everything that we want really about happiness? How having what we desire will make us feel, right? When it comes to happiness, nothing, nothing impacts us more than our relationships. And it's all relationships, to be sure, including our relationships with ourselves. But I got to tell you, your relationship with your significant other, with your spouse, that relationship, that's like the mother of all relationships. That's like the mega relationship. When you can get that one working really good, the ROI of the ripple effect of your happiness, my love, the whole point of all the things that you desire, your joy, your enjoyment of this life that you're living, that that my friend is what it's all about. That is an ROI that is truly worth everything, and that is what we're getting into today. Welcome to another Catalyst conversation in the relationship revolution, where we challenge the unquestioned assumptions about love, flip the script on what you've been taught, and reveal the truths that no one has told you. Here, we unlock a new paradigm of partnership, one that anchors in the consciousness and empowerment and results in the kind of relationships that most people only dream of. Today, we are exposing the truth about the ROI of happiness, what it's all about. We have been taught to settle for good enough. That is the status quo. That if things are fine, if we're not fighting a lot, if things are like okay, then that's good. We've made it. But that is not what our love can provide. That is not what our relationship, our marriages have to offer us. There is so much more that they can give to us. And that is what I want to unlock in today's Catalyst conversation. As always, it may challenge you and it may just change your life. So, before we get into the good stuff, for those of you who may be new to these conversations, let me take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jenny Wallig. I am an award-winning speaker, author. I am a disruptor. I am determined to make and evolved relationships. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Powerful Love Relationships and the co-creator of our 3-pillar Powerful Love method, a proven path to saving, healing, and improving your relationship, even if your partner isn't doing the work with you. In these Catalyst conversations and in everything we do at Powerful Love, the goal isn't just to teach you how to do your relationships better. It is to redefine how relationships can work, to unlock the possibilities, and to empower you, fellow visionary, to create a relationship that fills your heart and fuels your dreams. You ready? Let's get into it. So, this conversation is so important because too often I find that we women especially are get complacent with, at least on the surface, with just surviving, just getting by, right? We think that if we're managing life at home and with our partners and we're not fighting, we're getting along okay, and the kids are getting taken care of, and like that we've got a pretty good marriage, right? We have sex on occasion, we go on dates, sometimes we have fun. We're good. And yeah, comparatively to the folks who are deeply struggling, you are pretty good. But underneath, there's more, don't you? There's that craving for like real deep connection and fun and joy and happiness. And that craving, that calling, that is your invitation. That is your body, your spirit reminding you that there's more to have here. And that happiness, right? Like what is the point of all of the success in the world that we can achieve? What is the point of all of the energy that we're putting out to so many people, so many things that I know that you are just giving and giving and giving and giving to? What is the point if you are not truly happy and enjoying this life of yours every day? And sure, life is still going to be hard. There's still going to be things that you don't want to do. And your relationship, don't get me wrong, your relationship is not the answer to all of your happiness, okay? Your partner can't fill all of your happy bucket and fix everything for you. And your relationship can be a source of so much more happiness than you may be getting. I don't know about you, but when my relationship isn't working well, like let's look at it this way. When my relationship isn't working well, certainly when it's struggling, but even when it's just meh, I don't even enjoy the same level of happiness from the things that I usually enjoy as when my relationship is feeling vibrantly connected. Do you know what I mean? Like, like what do I enjoy? Like laying in my hammock and reading a book. When my relationship is like really connected and I just like had a really beautiful day and I'm feeling super in love with Cal, like that moment in my hammock, which is my favorite place in the world and one of my most delicious experiences, just being in my hammock and reading a book with nobody else around. Uh, like if when I am connected to Cal, that experience is even better. Okay. When I am disconnected from Cal, when we're like fighting or struggling, that experience is like hard to enjoy, hard to focus on. It's like maybe an escape. I'm distracting from the pain I'm in, but like, do you see what I mean? It's like our relationship can be this enhancer of happiness everywhere else, right? And so it is it's upsetting to me, my friends, that good enough is so often the expectation, right? And I know that we have a lot of demands on our life, especially as women, right? And if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a leader, a businesswoman, you you have even more, right? Like we've got full busy lives, you might have kids, we've got a lot of demands, but that's not a reason, that's not an excuse. I truly believe, my friends, that our relationship can still be vibrantly rewarding and fulfilling, a source of happiness, that so much more is possible in the return on investment from our relationships, despite our busy lives, despite all of those demands. A relationship can feel like sparkles and shimmers. It can feel like butterflies and swooning, like passion and fire, like deep, deep waters of connection, flowing and strong and soothing. Our relationships can feel like soaring through the skies or floating on a breeze. Can feel like dancing in the rain or spinning in the sunlight or jumping in a pile of leaves. Pick your experience, right? These are what is possible for you. Maybe not all the time, right? We can't sustain that. But that sparkle, that fire, that that energy is still possible to reconnect to. It is not lost to the new relationship energy. I mean, that is a special kind of energy. Yes, but there's a sister to it that we can connect to now in our mature, deep, conscious, next level love that I'm talking about creating. That it is what I and that Cal and I are so dedicated to are helping our clients create in the work we do at Powerful Love. But it doesn't just happen the way it did when your relationship began. You there's all kinds of reasons that it just happened automatically when you first fell in love with your partner, right? When those are new relationships, that new relationship energy, and it's all sparkly and full of possibilities and magic all the time. You don't have to work for it. That's special to that chapter of our lives. And like we miss it. Sure. It would be great if it were so automatic, but that's not how it is anymore. But it is even better when we can consciously create it. It is even more special when it is also in that deep, secure bond that we can create in our marriages once we've been through some shit, right? And that is what I want you to have. That is the kind of a return on investment I want you to unlock when you know how to create it deliberately by investing in it, growing it, and becoming it. And so there's just 3 little things that I want to share with you today about how to do that. Um, and then I'm going to leave it at that because the core of my message is I've already delivered, and it's connected to the first thing that I want to share, which is that in order to have that, in order to gain that return on investment, this delicious level of happiness from your relationship, you have to believe that it's possible. It all starts there, love. If you don't think it's possible, if you think that good enough is all you're ever gonna get, that fine and surviving is like marriage, don't believe that bullshit, please. Please, don't believe that, okay? You I implore you to risk believing that something is more, even if something more is possible, even if you don't know how to get it, okay? That is the first piece. The second piece is this: you have to connect to that feeling. You have to remember it. And I sometimes remember that feeling by fucking staring at Cal. It works for me. I just stare at him until, and I let myself remember how I used to feel, or like appreciate him, or think about him as a little kid, or think about the hard things he's been through. Sometimes I can get to that, and I get to a place of like awe and appreciation. And I'm like, God, I fucking love you so much. Think about the miracle of like how our lives had to unfold for us to meet. And then it's like, wow, how did it happen that you chose me? But it's not just that. So like, yes, you have to find your way back to remembering that feeling with your partner, but it's also, you've got to connect to that feeling within yourself, love. What brings you joy? When's the last time you spun in a circle or danced in the rain? When's the last time you blew bubbles or chased a butterfly or jumped in a pile of leaves? What brings you joy, sweetheart? Have you allowed yourself to access that? Have you sang at the top of your lungs in the car? Have you danced? Have you lost yourself to your own ecstatic anything? What is that for you? That feeling, that happiness, that joy, that oneness with the universe, that peak experience, how do you connect to that? And the more that you can connect to that, in your own ways, in your own body, as your mind and your heart and your spirit remember that, you will open up the channels to connect to that more and more in your relationship. That's important. That's part of how you are accountable for this work. It's not just for your partner to make you feel this way. You get to connect to that. You get to create that. And the third thing is this: you've got to keep investing in the ongoing growth and expansion of your relationship. What would bring you more joy? What would help you feel more connected? What's the next little thing that would help you feel better in this partnership? Even if you're scared to bring it up, even if you've tried before and it hasn't gotten better, how do you make that move? Do you need support? Do you need to learn something? Do you need to try again? Do you need to get more vulnerable? Do you need to take a risk? Do you need to apologize or repair? Like what is it? Because if you can't get to there from here, if you're holding resentment or pain or hurt or baggage or anger or distance and disconnection, you're not going to get there. Little by little, every little stitch, right? Every little stitch brings you closer together. So you've got to start taking baby steps in the general direction of that. And while you're doing that in your relationship, consciously, intentionally, deliberately, step by step by step, with devotion, my friend, it is not a thing you do once and then you're done. It is something that you do again and again and again. Cal and I just had a conversation this weekend that was so interesting, because the day after we had the conversation with one another, it was about an experience of loneliness that I've been having, that Cal didn't understand why I was feeling lonely, because he was doing everything he knew how to do to help me out and ensure that I didn't feel lonely. And he was very confused and very upset, because what the hell else was he supposed to do? And I had to really sit and think about what he could do. And when I got that clarity, I shared with him, like, this is what I learned and what it's about. And it helped him, like, oh, I didn't get that before. And I'm like, yeah, of course you didn't. I didn't get that before. I wasn't able to articulate it. And so we partnered together, right, to figure out how, like, what this was that wasn't working, and it leveled us up. And it was something that we hadn't been aware of before, but then it surfaced, and it brought us to our next level, because the work is never done. And then the very next day, I had a conversation with a potential client who shared that he and his wife were having the same experience. And I was like, I wonder if your wife doesn't even know what she needs to feel less lonely, because I sure didn't. And we just figured this out like this week. It never ends. That's my point, right? It never ends. And so commit to that journey, and doing it deliberately and intentionally. And where I was going is, in the meantime, also keep filling yourself with your own joy and happiness. And know that as you invest in yourself, and your self-investment is a relationship investment, right? Like, you doing things that bring yourself joy is a pathway to fixing, healing, improving your marriage. Okay. Like, dedicate, like, this thing I'm doing for me is a dedication to my marriage. Allow that to be part of the solution, because it absolutely is. Where was I going? I don't remember. But those are the 3 steps, right? Believe, know it's possible. Remember, connect to that feeling yourself. Keep investing in your relationship. Okay. And when you get good at that, when you stop settling for good enough, for, we're fine, things are fine. Happiness doesn't become something that you hope for, hope that, like, you have a good day, or that you're excited because you had a happy day. It's something that you can cultivate. It's something that you get to live in regularly. Your relationships becomes a daily source of joy and lightness and vitality. How does that sound? Yummy, right? I mean, it's yummy to me. I don't know about you, but I like the sound of that. I like the experience of it. I get to be living it most of the time. I mean, not all the time. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not always perfect, but that's part of the growth. It's in the contrast that brings us to the next level of growth, and so I embrace that too as part of the process, but most of the time, it is so yummy. And the return on investment, as if you've been tuning into the other episodes of this month's topic in these catalyst conversations, like, everything gets touched. Our business, our success, our personal growth, our healing. Life gets brighter, easier, more fulfilling. The ripple effects are huge. So, as always, I want to remind you that if you are in the Relationship Revolution membership program, don't miss out on our powerful activation this week. I want to support you in taking this deeper and deliberately creating your next level of happiness in your relationship and within yourself. If you are not yet in the Relationship Revolution, now is the time to join. August is almost over. Tomorrow is my birthday, August 30th. August 31st is going to be the last day to join at the founding member rate of $97. That rate also gets you into the Infinite Possibilities course that I'll be teaching at the end of the year, and it gets you at a personal activation call with me, one-on-one activation call. So you get some bonuses, plus you get locked in at $97 a month instead of what it'll go up to at $147 a month. So now is like, if you've been thinking about it, don't miss out on it, okay? The Relationship Revolution, there will be a link in the description for this catalyst conversation. It is a monthly membership for women and couples who are done doing the relationships the old way, who want to have the tools, the support, and the structure to their relationships differently, consciously, more powerfully, turn things around, lead their love into what is truly possible. And it works, of course, even if your partner's not on board yet. So that's it for me today. I will see you next week for a new month of Catalyst Conversations, live every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Until then, keep